Welcome to what I call the Great American Alligator Egg Collection on public waters in Florida. This annual collection of alligator eggs is run by the state of Florida's Florida Wildlife Conservation Commission and is a vital part of the most successful model for recovery of an endangered species.
Hi, my name is Alan Register, and my wife and I are the owners here at Gatorama, and we've been involved with this alligator egg collection program since the early 90s. This is my 31st year as the egg collection coordinator. I'm in charge of gathering all the team members together and setting a schedule and working with the Florida Wildlife Conservation Commission. On top of that, I'm responsible for making sure that we have the hotel rooms, making the reservations for the number of people that we have. Also dinner, making sure that everybody gets fed dinner. I don't buy their beer though.
We couldn't do this without the help of this amazing team that you've assembled over the years. Let's introduce you to our fantastic team. So there are two crews. There's the North crew and there's the South crew.
Each team consists of a helicopter, pontoon boat, and 3 privately owned airboats. Now the helicopter, we have 2 people. One's the pilot, obviously, and then we have a nest spotter. On the pontoon boat, we have a biologist, we have a candler, and then we have 3 people that are going to unpack and repack the eggs and then mark the boxes down. And then we have a pontoon captain. We have 3 private airboats. Over the years, we've had several different airboat guys, and actually we have 2 third-generation airboaters on our crew now. Each airboat comes a second person, which is a pusher, pushes the bow of the boat, so if they get stuck, he helps get them unstuck. That's his primary job. That and also fighting Mama Gator off if she shows up at the nest.
Hello, my name's Archie. This year I'm the egg boat captain, which means I follow the helicopter and the airboats around the lake, and we pick up the eggs and candle them. As egg boat captain, you need to kind of know how the layout of the lake is and which areas will be good production and where to make shortcuts so that you can be at the right spot when the airboats come out of the marsh to pick up the eggs. I've been doing this ever since day one of when the collection started back in, I think, '88, I believe is when it started. Had basically every job from helper to drove the airboat, did some collection for a few years, did candling, and so except for spotting in the helicopter, I pretty much have done all the jobs.
We have a biologist from Florida Wildlife Conservation Commission. That biologist, she or he, kind of crunches the numbers on how many eggs were collected out of each nest.
Hello. I'm the biologist on board, and I'm just keeping track of the number of eggs and nests that come aboard.
The thing that has always stayed the same has been the passion that the people have for the program. It was so great this year because everybody really worked together. These guys, they have a work ethic like you don't see anymore these days.
It's hard to find. It is quite the process to do this annual alligator egg collection. Each day we're out collecting, and then each night we're assessing whether we still have more work to go or we need to move on to the next water.
We like to start the end of June, the beginning of July, because we have to worry about the rain flooding the nest, we have to worry about predators, and we don't want to do it too early, just in case there aren't any eggs in the nest. We wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, we have a quick breakfast, and we go gas up and ice up, and then we make our way out to the lake, and generally by daybreak, we're on the water. We use the helicopter to spot the nest. Once the nests are spotted, we radio down to the airboats, and the airboats will position themselves close to the helicopter. A lot of times in most areas, you can just run up to the nest, they'll stop, they'll park right next to the nest, they'll get out of the boat. One person will have a stick, a gator stick, and they'll keep an eye for mama. The other person will take the tray and start opening up the nest. Once they open up the nest, then they mark the eggs with a marker. They take that nesting material off the top and we'll put it in the bottom of the tray so it's got a bed to be able to set the eggs in. The eggs are moved into the tray and they stay in that position. And then once all the eggs are collected, They count them, and then they put them on their log sheet, what type of vegetation they collected in, how many eggs were in the nest. They'll put the nesting material on top of it to keep them from rolling, put them in their boat, then they'll take them to the pontoon boat.
It's so important that they are always maintained with the red mark up, because that makes sure that the baby's in the right position. Once the eggs are safely collected and back on run aground Sioux, we make sure that they're packed correctly and counted. They're moved down to the biologist and the candler.
So part of the candling process to make sure as many of the eggs hatch as possible for the farmers, we do a candling to test viability, make sure they're going to hatch. So you're looking at these and you're looking for consistency. This white banding means that egg is fertile. You see the red coloration in the yolk, that means there's blood flow. And we go from each egg, looking at them. You can see that each of them, and this one's not banded. It's, failed to develop early in development, or didn't develop. So it has this light bulb appearance. Again, you see the red, you know that there's a viable live baby alligator in there.
They put their heads together, make sure that the eggs are viable eggs, and after they are counted again, then they're pushed out of that old candling box, and we repack them again and count them.
The candler counts the eggs, the biologist counts the eggs, and then the person that's going to repack them counts the eggs. And the reason we discard eggs is because of some may be banded discards, which means they've already been fertilized and they've died in the nest, or some of them may not be fertilized at all. Basically, we're going to keep the good ones and discard the bad ones. The number is written on the box, how many eggs are in there, what box number it is, and then what area that it came from. The coverings put back on there, and then they're stacked on the pontoon boat and ready for when we come back in to take them to the courier. The eggs are then taken to the shore for the courier to pick up. So the courier is on station before we come back from collecting, waiting for us to unload the eggs. So the courier is now going to count those boxes again. If we haven't counted them enough, we're going to count them one more time. We're going to put them in the van. Then he's going to bring them to a temporary storage facility. Each day we do the same process over and over. The whole process is about 16 or 17 days. So after 5 days or 6 days, the incubator may have 12 to 15,000 eggs in there. So we'll stop the collection. The guys will get a chance to service their airboats, wash their laundry, and I get to come home and do the distribution. So the farmers will meet us up here at Gatorama. That night I crunch the numbers, figure out how many each farmer's going to get, and then the day of distribution, I'll distribute the said number of eggs to each farmer. And we'll do 2 distributions during the collection, and then there'll be a third final distribution at the end.
Now, you might be wondering why all this matters. You see, there are lots of human, environmental, and natural threats to alligator eggs. By collecting nests and hatching the eggs in a controlled environment, we can better protect the species and maintain a healthy, stable population of alligators. And just this year alone, we retained 60,000 viable eggs.
This program is very vital to the alligator as a species. It's just one of the few legs that FWC has put together. You have the alligator farming aspect, which includes alligator egg collection, hatchling alligator collection, and also the trapping programs. When you put all that together, it creates a model that is very successful for the species as a whole. The alligator program that FWC has set up will help with education, it helps farming, and it also helps the environment. It gives places like Gatorama the opportunity to educate people about alligators. We have our annual hatching festival where we go through the process of collecting and incubating, and then we show them how to hatch out.
It takes about 65 days for an alligator to develop in that egg and hatch out. And you can come hatch those eggs in your very own hand at our hatching festival.
If hatching an alligator egg isn't cool, collecting the alligators is pretty cool too. We look forward to this alligator egg collection every year. We're so fortunate to be able to bring all the moving pieces together and making this program work. There are a lot of moving pieces, and I think from the outside it looks like it's a well-oiled machine, but it can get pretty frantic. But it's still it's a blessing for me to be able to play the part that I play in this program.